So now we can throw it totally open. Any questions to anybody in here? Go ahead.
Okay. We heard a lot today about customer experience and why people are changing because there's too much buffering on the video and so forth. Something that's been striking me recently is people are giving up their existing supplier because they can't get through to customer service or they don't get the answers they want. And we run a small ISP and people are coming to us purely because we give a better customer service. Is that the same in the US or is this something local?
Okay, we need a US colleague who can answer that.
I'll give it a shot.
So I think that, and this is kind of what I was saying earlier, that quality of experience it covers a lot of things, right? And the network health is, like we talked about, is a key component. Without that, forget it, right? You need that. But all those other touch points with customers, from the time they come into service and their experience getting online for the first time to when there is a problem, that is actually the most memorable thing for them, right? Is when there's a problem, how is that resolved? How quickly is it resolved? How communicative is the operator with the like? I was talking with someone earlier about what was it Mike? Is Mike here? Oh, Mike's right behind me. About your experience, right, with a power outage, and how the power company really communicated super well with you, saying, we know there's an issue, like proactively, and then told you will have an answer within X period of time, and then kind of delighted you by giving you an answer well before that time came, right? So those are things that I think are super important. So yes, in the States, it's the same as that. Everybody wants to be treated with respect like that, right? So I would definitely say that it's the same there as what you just described.
So what ISP are you from?
We're called Countryside Broadband. We operate in Oxfordshire, basically.
I'll just say I had a house in the US, and Comcast have I'm a Comcast customer. They have a 4-hour response time when you do a fault, and over 8 years I only had one fault, and I called up because I was out and they came in and out. I couldn't even believe that such a thing could happen in Europe, I'm afraid, in any country. It's much better service in the US. And you can actually talk to a person, not a chat bot. Everything's chatbots. We have lost the plot in Europe.
As a supporter of the independent networks in the UK, I would say that's one of the differentiators that the new companies can provide, because the big ISPs and the big operators have shocking Trustpilot scores. We're talking 1 or 2, whereas some of the independent operators have 4, 4.5. So.
So my question is, we've been talking about how much video is burdening broadband, all of the streaming that's been increasing. So especially in the US, since there's no more net neutrality, is there still a consideration of maybe heavy video players such as YouTube or Netflix somehow paying to prioritize their own networks?
Who? Anyone. Anyone at all.
Well, I think local caching is how some of these guys are doing it, right?
As opposed to writing checks, they're volunteering, their content closer to the, inside the network, and that really alleviates a lot of the issues and provides better service. And they've got the scale to be able to offer that and do that. So it's kind of an indirect way of getting, I think their video served up in a higher quality way, but I haven't personally seen anybody writing checks to operators looking for priority.
I think that missions like OpenCDN are allowing operators to deploy their own cache in their own network, and in many cases being paid by the upper level operators to carry that traffic, so the burden off their networks.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and that is the specific streamers though?
Some of them.
I say one of the things Netflix did really well a few years ago was literally giving scores to network operators as to how well they supported Netflix's service. And that literally forced operators to up their game to deliver a service that they were absolutely deriving no revenue from, with the fear that if they were supporting it badly, they would lose that subscriber elsewhere. Now, since you've seen, people like Sky building Netflix into their applications and getting some kind of revenue share, but I think that whole concept of I'm going to rate your network, and honestly, if you perform badly, you're going to lose subscribers that want my service. I think it's actually quite powerful.
I think if you apply that to gaming, and you have a league table of who are the best gamers in the world and what network they're on, people will start thinking, okay, yeah, there is a correlation between being on that network and winning at that game.
Yeah,
however gullible people that may be to do that, it'll still work.
But it does happen. There are groups that rate networks for latency performance and gaming performance. So it's absolutely happening and out there.
See, I find it personally quite sad that the whole of this industry is founded on 22 men kicking bombs about. I mean, that's just insane. But if we go beyond that and start, it's a lot of teenagers playing games in their bedrooms that's actually underpinning the finances of this sector, then that's really quite sad. But there you go, whatever you get.